Bet on what you believe in. G-Move, Wazza, and welcome to the latest episode of the Movecast. Today, we dive into the fascinating world of prediction markets with our special guest, Craig from BRKT. Craig joins us to share the story behind BRKT, a groundbreaking platform revolutionizing how we place bets on everything, from sports to elections. BRKT aims to make prediction markets more accessible, transparent, and inclusive for everyone. In this episode, Craig will take us through the origins of BRKT, its unique features, and how it stands out from the competition. We'll also explore the exciting opportunities BRKT offers to the movement community, including the ability to create and profit from their own established markets. Additionally, Craig will shed light on the platform's future plans and why BRKT bets on the movement ecosystem. Let's go! Remove, welcome, and Wazza. Today I welcome Craig from BRKT as our today's guest. Craig, tell us about how did you come to BRKT, and can you share with us how BRKT was founded?
Yep, absolutely. So one of my good friends in the space, Utah, he's a founder of Bracket, and we've known each other for a pretty long time. And a few months ago, he came to me with this idea that he's had for years about creating a predictions market. Because he was telling me that he really wanted a way where he could bet on March Madness completely on chain, the basketball tournament, and he just he really wanted to get the idea out there to people. He thought now crypto's going back up. It's really time to just get this project moving. So he actually had these contracts for Bracket written about 2 years ago, and he just sat on them. And then at some point this year, he decided, okay, it's time to go back into this. And he really just started getting people together, and he got a great team together. And he asked me to also be his BD manager for everything. So that's what I've been doing so far, and that's where the idea for Bracket came from. We just basically wanted a predictions market where there weren't so many barriers to entry. Like we didn't want people to have to swap like 10,000 different tokens and like do all these steps just to be able to place a bet. You know, so
Okay,
that's what I
interesting.
do.
Interesting. So you mentioned already Bracket, which is you mentioned prediction markets, but I think it's also kind of betting platform. So can you wrap up in some sentences what is Bracket exactly doing, and can you explain some of the products a little bit deeper?
Okay, absolutely. So one of our core beliefs at Bracket is for users to bet on what they believe in. Like we really want people to be able to put their money behind what they think is going to occur. We don't really want to call it, just another gambling protocol or gambling site. You know, like there are outcomes that will be verified, like things that will be happening in your everyday life. We want people to be able to feel like they can bet on them. Because what we're finding through all these prediction markets is that there are so many events that occur that people just don't really have a market for. And, Bracket is one of the first solutions where we can have users create their own markets. Like even right now in our Discord community, we have a section where people can request competitions, let us know what they want to see. Because most prediction markets, they have a team that run them and they put up all the competitions. And of course, we're going to go for bigger things like the Olympics and obviously the presidential elections. We also have to make sure that people all across the globe are represented. Like I didn't watch cricket until a few weeks ago, right? And I realized there's a huge market for that, and that's a big oversight on my part. So just being able to use Bracket and just through building Bracket, I was able to connect with more people globally, and I think that will help the entire community who uses Bracket to do the same. So there's definitely value outside of just putting money and hoping for a return on your investment.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think you mentioned like the big events, like the elections. I think, or would you say bracket could be used for hedging as well, like for big events, like I don't know the outcome of an election or a huge event.
Oh, absolutely. If there's a certain policy that a candidate has that might negatively affect someone, then at the very least they could, bet against that on brackets, and they could make a profit, which could at least offset any financial or other losses they may incur from that. So I think that's
Okay,
a very good function of bracket, and prediction markets on a whole.
absolutely. So
Yeah,
yeah, it kind of adds a value to the regular DeFi space which already exists. So I would say it's not just random gambling or betting.
right.
So it can be used for specific strategies. Yeah, you mentioned already um, stuff like the US elections, cricket, other further events which you are looking forward to in the
Yeah,
next
so
time.
the big one right now is the Olympics. So we're definitely preparing heavily for that. We're going to have many competitions released on bracket for the Olympics. And then also ongoing events like the Premier League for soccer or football. And, we have a lot of things cooking for the Olympics, definitely. So,
Okay. Also, when I just think about it, how does the betting process at itself? You already mentioned people can select or provide some questions about some different events in Discord. But how does the process look from the process happening and in the end the verification? Do you have some providers
yeah,
which
sure. So from our end, we read every submission in our Discord for competition requests, and then at some point we want to see how feasible it is. Will there actually be a market for it? And the more users that agree with a certain topic to be listed, it's definitely more likely to be up there because there's definitely interest. Um, and, at some point, we actually are exploring options where we will be able to automatically generate what users will be interested in, which is a very cool topic we started discussing just yesterday. So I think that'll be a great selling point for Bracket as well, and it would allow people to get their competitions listed without having to just go through a team.
Hmm.
Um, anyway, once we list a competition, we right now are verifying the outcomes manually. But in the very near future, we actually have our own custom oracles, very similar to the UMA oracles that you spoke about earlier. And those will be able to basically verify outcomes. And we will have many fail safes. And, we have many security features to make sure that the outcomes are actually correct. Because with the predictions market, you really cannot be wrong. You must provide the most fair solution so that users don't feel cheated or disrespected at all.
Yeah.
So there'll even be a feature where people can contest outcomes, dispute them, and we can definitely triple check them and make sure that they're actually correct.
And are there any limitations to the prediction markets? Like, I don't know. I mean, the first things I would think about are maybe elections, maybe sports events. But are there any other events like maybe, I don't know, some catastrophes or I don't know what else could
Yeah.
prediction
So
markets?
yeah, we have been talking internally about more morbid things like catastrophes. We don't want to make we don't want to create markets that will incentivize people to commit like you know like crimes basically.
Yeah,
So we definitely don't want like any bounties on people. We don't want any major like things to start, like civil war to start because people place $1 million bet that something will occur and they start
hmm,
doing crazy things out there. So that's definitely something that we want to be careful of because that's not what our goals were. We wanted people to be able to bet on just everyday events and things that would have happened regardless instead of trying to motivate people to do things in order to turn a profit. So that's the
okay.
main limitation we have. But we it can be esports, it can be how long will this podcast last? That could be a bet we also make as well. So things like that, we definitely want to create markets for anything because there's so much money out there, and users should feel like they have a place to bet on anything.
Okay, interesting to see how that will evolve.
Yeah.
And when we see the first bets on the duration of the podcast. Yes. So there's already Polymarkets as a strong player in that field, primarily on different other chains. Can you tell me how Bracket does differ from Polymarkets?
Yes, absolutely. So, Polymarket. Honestly, there's a lot of steps you have to go through just to place a bet. Um, you know, I can't really imagine like a Web2 native who's just getting into crypto and wanting to place a bet, on anything. And then they have to go, buy USDC, then swap to Polygon, and then, get a gas token. People are like, what's a gas token? There's a lot of steps for people that aren't, super hardcore Web3 natives like we are. So definitely accessibility is one of the main things we want to hit. And this is not just a poly market issue. This happens to most of the prediction markets that are out there in Web3, and many of them have, unfortunately failed. But, we also have many other differences. For example, we have the ability to host or have user-hosted competitions, right? Um, Polymarket will choose all the competitions and see what might be the most relevant to people. They'll, definitely get a lot more volume on big events that are happening, but we think there's a lot of, untapped or volume that's been untapped into that we're definitely trying to attack. So we definitely want to capture those people as well. And lastly, it's just the range of events that we can offer. Polymarket seems to be a very event-based platform, and Bracket initially was going to be a more sports-based platform, basically sports, esports, but now we're expanding to everything, so we can seriously just reach everyone, which I think makes us a strong, gives us a very strong competitive advantage.
Okay, interesting. So happy to see that new type of service on the movement ecosystem.
Yes, definitely.
Nice. Yeah, since that's the podcast called Movecast. I'm quite concentrated on the movement ecosystem, and Bracket was, I think, one of the players in the last weeks which got a lot of attention. Can you explain to the audience why did Bracket choose the movement ecosystem, especially because you mentioned before that the founder already started with the smart contract development, and I think it was in the beginning on Solidity. So why this decision to come on movement and its ecosystem?
Absolutely. Well, the team really liked what they were doing, and we also have a personal relationship with the founders. Utah knows Rushi and Cooper personally, and I
Yeah.
also went to school with Rushi and Cooper.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, we're all part of the same class. We all left the same year, and we've known each other very well for a while. So, we just found it beneficial mutually for us to work together. And we launched on their chain, and they have been so supportive of us, which we're very thankful for. And of course, we also had the opportunity to chat with you guys. So it's really just been a very seamless partnership, and we believe that that will continue to bring us success to both Movement and to Bracket.
Nice. So yeah, in movement, one of the main topics or the main let's say flows is the community. Can you say how the community can profit or create value on Bracket services?
On Bracket services currently, so when you place your predictions on Bracket, you are able to earn crown points right now since we're still on testnet.
Hmm.
Um, and those crown points will be beneficial towards our airdrop in the future. So that's definitely something that people want to try and generate as much as they can. Every time we put new markets up, it's in everyone's best interest to please bet on those markets with your testnet tokens, and you'll be able to get those crown points. So that's the best way the community can profit off of Bracket. And also obviously we do have our giveaways in our community as well. So, anyone that we see, placing a lot of bets, being super hyped about the community, we have rewards for people who are early supporters and it's very active in our community. So that's definitely something to look out for. I'm personally choosing a few of the winners, and we have random number generators for the rest of them, but it's going to be from a pool of people who have really been supporting your platform. So that's what the movers can do like right now to see some profit from Bracket.
Okay, cool. And yeah, I think you will be on upcoming testnet available as well.
I'm sorry?
You will be available on the upcoming testnet,
Yes,
probably. Yeah.
that's correct.
Okay, cool. And because you mentioned that the crowns and the point system, and also mentioned the token, are there already deeper plans regarding the token? If yes, which value or which use does the token have?
Okay, so the details of that are still quite internal currently. However, there are plans to launch a token, and I can confirm that having a large number of crowns will be very beneficial to that. And that's all I'll say
Okay.
for right now.
Okay. So for the moment, people can use USDC on testnet, or how does it work?
That will be explicitly explained once we actually launch. Because when Movement launches their testnet, then we'll also come up with our, our ways for people to deposit or not deposit, but to bet on bracket. So those details will be
Okay.
coming very soon. Regarding the bracket coin, I can say that there will be some features that we've been exploring some features where users are able to receive get some tokens airdropped to their profile by completing certain tasks on bracket, or like getting the most crown points, having a high win rate, bringing lots of volume to the platform. We do have plans where users are able to maybe create their own markets, and where it doesn't even have to go through a team. We're looking at different trust scores, seeing their credibility, how credible are they at verifying outcomes. These are all things we're just fleshing out as this week goes on. But I do know that is one use case of the bracket coin that I can talk about. So I forgot to mention that.
Okay. I would like to dive deeper a little bit on the point which you just mentioned on the building up on markets or betting pools. Could you explain on that how that would work and how users could participate on it? Like, could they collect some fees or?
Yes,
Um,
absolutely. So if a user creates a market, they will also be eligible to share some revenue that's generated by the platform, as basically a thank you for creating the market and providing more volume to our platform. So um, yeah, that's the main incentive we have for users. And then there might be some extra crowns associated with that, or some tokens. We're still deciding which one we're going to do, but yeah,
okay.
definitely plans for that.
And maybe without going too deep into it, but if users want to create such a pool or a betting market, do they have to be aware of any stuff? Like, I mean, you mentioned before the criminal stuff, which should be out of scope. But are there anything or any points which should be people aware of?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it really will just come down to common sense, just not to create, bounty pools or bounty betting pools. But outside of that, the team is going to review everything in initially, and then there will be very strict guidelines on, how to create a market and what markets are going to be approved. But in the beginning, we'll be manually approving everything.
Okay,
It's really just for us to see what people are interested in, because we don't want to just stop here. We really want to encapsulate the entire betting audience in the world. Like we have plans to incorporate everyone. It's not just a few people who want to use a certain chain. Like we definitely want to expand. So that's good.
okay. Yeah, that's kind of special. I think that's something which Web3 and the DeFi ecosystem can provide. So it's like a global movement or a global area which you can do different stuff on. And I think betting or prediction markets are a big part of that.
Yes, I
Um,
definitely agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say, because that's one thing I want to touch on my podcast deeper as well, what the people in of the products or behind the products think about the future of the movement ecosystem, but the DeFi space at all? Do you have like a vision or like a deeper idea how prediction markets will uh, lead us in the end?
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, we're all very bullish on the move ecosystem and prediction markets on a whole. Like, there is data showing that prediction markets globally, both in Web3 and Web2 have been growing a lot each year. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we think that's just going to keep going up as we provide more markets to more people. Because right now, most of those bets are just placed in sports, like quite honestly. Like
Yeah.
even the fact that we can bet on elections at all anywhere, that's still a pretty new concept. Before it was just word of mouth. Like you just go out for a drink with your friends and say, "Hey, this guy's going to win," and you say, "Oh, put money on it," and they just
Yeah.
pay money. But now this can be done completely on chain, which is what Bracket is revolutionizing, and we really want to stay at the forefront of that race.
Okay. And maybe one last question:
Yeah.
Is Bracket? Is there a story behind the name? Like, is it?
As of right now, it came from just tournament brackets, and we like BRKT. We think it's short. It's also great. Makes a great token ticker. So
Yeah.
that's basically how the name came about. But it really meant to just talk about how tournaments have different brackets, and they just all condensed into the finals, and
Okay.
that's it. So
Yeah, it had a pretty nice fit with cricket. I think it was
yeah,
cricket on bracket was
yeah,
was
that's pretty
amazing.
funny. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned before that bracket is like, or the story behind bracket is bet what you believe in.
yes,
So you would say both you want to provide a platform for users yeah, to bet on what they believe in. But I think the story also behind Bracket is that you believe in the movement ecosystem, and that's kind of your bet as well. So
yes, absolutely.
um, yeah,
Yep, that's why
uh,
we're with you guys. So.
yeah, okay. Then I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to share to us or to the community?
Yeah, just feel free to reach out. I'm talking to everyone. Just feel free to reach out to the team. I'm very accessible in our Discord and Telegram communities and on Twitter. So just shoot me a DM. If there's anything you want to see, things you're not happy with, let us know. We will get them fixed very quickly. We are serious about being the best predictions market in the world. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart and to the team. So,
Amazing.
yeah.
Okay, then thank you very much for joining
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
talk
Thank
today.
you. Yeah, much appreciated.
And yeah, hope to see Bracket to become the first prediction market in the space,
Yeah,
and to
absolutely.
see you successfully succeeding.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Great.